are you going to talk about?
I don't know.
You can talk about getting ready for your life celebration for your father.
Oops, hang on. I don't know yet. Okay, I'll talk to you later. I think I'm on. Here we are. Toon, 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 toon. Oh, that's Shailene on it. Was live. Hey everybody, how's it going on out there? And looks like I'm live. Hey relatives, it's good to see you. Hey, welcome to the Native Wellness Power Hour. I'm not even going to try to tell you how many that we've done so far, but this was just a response to the pandemic a couple years ago, and so the Native Wellness Institute, we started doing these power hours, and we're continuing on every Wednesday now. It's been a while since I've been on, and I think the last few times you guys have, everybody has had Theta on, and she's been talking about healthy sexuality and just being a healthy ally to LGBTQ relatives and friends and such. Um, Today, I think I'm going to talk about how do we be a healthy ally to ourselves, that being that self ally. But before we even get kicked off, you know what? I just want to say prayer for and get kicked off with a good prayer and a good song here. You know that there's a lot of people out there having a hard time. You know, it's a beautiful summer out there. We're all getting out and playing, and but there's just a lot of people who are just having a hard time. So with the Native Wellness Institute, we got a relative, Will, is in the hospital right now, and I just sending prayers out. I'm going to send prayers out to him. I got a friend; she's going through breast cancer and waiting for the pathology report, and so prayer out to her, Angela, my little cousin, who's going through his second bout of chemo, fighting leukemia, and Joseph. I want to say a little prayer for him. I saw online a friend, her daughter Swan, had some blood infection, and so they had to go through surgery. So prayer out to her, and so many others. So it's just bring into your heart and mind to all those who need those prayers, and maybe it's yourself. Maybe you're not in the hospital. Maybe you're doing you're at home and stuff, but maybe you're just having a hard time with your mental health and your wellness, whatever that may be. Talked with a friend, another lady, and she's struggling because she's the only one in the household. She's a grandma. She's the only one in the household who's actually um, on her wellness path, and everybody else is still being toxic, and so she struggles with that as well. So I'm just going to sing a song and just to kick it off with that, and whoever comes to your mind or your heart or your spirit who needs those prayers, and if you need to pray for yourself, that's okay as well. We'll get things kicked off right here with the Native Wellness Institute Power Hour. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey hey yo, 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 hey yo. Hey yo, 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 sha, ya, cha, hoo. Oh, awesome. Gonna teach relatives. Goodness geesh. So that song that I just played you was a sunrise song. Sunrise song. You know, every time in the morning time, we have the sunrise that comes up, and one of my rituals each day is to see that sunrise. Our back door faces directly east, and so I like to know that the sun's coming up, even here in the Pacific Northwest, of the cloudy days. And so I just want to introduce myself in the way that I was taught. I was taught that one of our most important things that we could do in our lives is learn how to introduce ourselves. You see, we're always introducing ourselves, no matter what we do, where we go, not just by saying our names, but the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we eat, the way we hold ourselves. I was just down on the beach, rushed back here, let my dogs go for a run. But even when I'm out there on the beach and with my dogs, I'm still introducing myself, because I look the way I am. I am who I am. And so you're always introducing yourself. So learn how to introduce yourself. So part of my introduction is Gaya Yahakdo Salk, Dakte Tana, Kalkita Kakdu Kandu Ayahuititi, Wishkitanyeri Hata Ishiktihini do a salk, Shankita Wewa Shlagi Filipina Kat, gonna cheese, ho. Ah. It's a good day today. My name is Gene Tagaban. My Tlingit name is Gayao. I'm of the Duck Dane Ton clan, the Raven Freshwater Sockeye clan from Hoona, Alaska. Child of a Wishkatan Eagle Shark clan from Marquand and Juneau, Alaska. I'm Cherokee, Tlingit, and Filipino. I tell people I'm a Cherokee Filipino. My last name, Tagaban. In the Philippines, it's pronounced as Tagaban. My grandfather comes from Bentoc. My great-grandfather comes from El Locos Norte. And it was my father who's Tlingit and Filipino. Blessings out to my father and my grandfathers and great-grandfathers and those ancestors on that side. My mama, she's full-blood Cherokee, real deal Cherokee, I tell people. And her Cherokee Ashlagi name is Weech. I am of the Wolf clan on my Cherokee side. My mama, she was born in Jay, raised in Xena, Oklahoma. But before the trail, the trail that is known as the Trail of Tears, my people come from a place that is now known as Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Right now, I am sitting here on the territories of the Coast Salish peoples, on the traditional lands of the Puyallup peoples here in Ruston, Washington. And I tell people in the shadow of Mount Tahoma, or Tahoma, some people pronounce it, known as Mount Rainier, named after some British admiral or something like that. But our traditional name for that mountain is Mount Tahoma, known for where the water originates from. But that's a little bit of my introduction. Welcome to all of you too. And earlier I said, we had Theta on earlier, and congratulate. I don't know if any of you saw the last reservation dogs, but Theta Newbreast, our relative, our auntie to many people, is on there. So check out the latest edition of the reservation dogs, and you'll see Theta Newbreast on there. And Theta is just being Theta. But gonna teach the Theta. But again, she was talking about healthy sexuality, allyship with LGBTQ. Today, I think I might just talk about allyship with ourselves. How can we be our own ally? And one of those things is I want to talk about is some of our rituals that we do. Um, and I love sunrises and sunsets. I love when the sunrise and everything is just black and white, when everything is just dark still. And when we see in black and white, and then when the daylight starts to appear, the daylight. And it reminds me when that daylight starts to appear, just like how Raven talked about the how Raven brought light to the world. He brought the stars, moon, and sun, and then he brought the daylight to the world. And the people were able to see the world clearly for the first time, and they marveled at the beauty of it. And each morning we have that opportunity. We have that opportunity to we're in the darkness, and each morning we have that opportunity when the daylight shows up. But on those sunrises, I love it when the sun is starting to come up and the light is starting to show itself, that daylight. The sun hasn't even peeked over the horizon yet. And it reminds me of a time too, is like my teacher, Larry Littlebird. Larry Littlebird. Now, that's an amazing storyteller there. One day I hope to grow up to be a storyteller, as half the storyteller is Larry Littlebird. And that man has taught me so much. He's taught me so much about storytelling. And he says, before we become storytellers, we are first story listeners. And we got to listen first. We got to listen. How do we listen? And listening is not only with our ears, but it's with our eyes as well. Watching is a form of listening. And he told me when I was in Santa Fe with him, and it was one long time ago when my hair was black and dark and I didn't have these wrinkles on my face, and I was much younger. I was in my mid-20s or so. He says, now Gene, I want you to sit outside every morning, sit outside before the sun comes up, and sit there until the sun is fully in the sky. Do that for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And at first I did that, and and I was a struggle. It was a struggle for me to do that. And then after a few days, I started to acclimate to it. After a few more days after that, I started to almost surrender to it. Surrender to it. I use this hand about surrendering to it, about sitting there and being in the moment, waiting for the sun to rise up over those Sandia Mountains down there in Santa Fe. And and then I got to a point where not only acclimate, but surrender, but just an acceptance. To sit there for 2 weeks. I ended up staying there, doing that for 3 weeks, because the what came up, and for me, when that sun starts coming up, it's as if you see the trees vibrating. You see the trees vibrating. And you see some of the plants, the wildflowers start to face in that direction, and they start to open up slowly, and all just vibrating themselves. You start to hear the birds, that dawn chorus. And if you aren't familiar with that dawn chorus, the dawn chorus is every morning that the birds will start singing, spontaneously start singing. And this happens not just all over the world. That dawn chorus it's almost as if the dawn chorus, the birds are all singing in joy and delight for the rising of the sun. Wherever you go, this happens in the world. And so as I'm sitting there and I'm seeing this happening, the vibrations going on, and and not only that, but that vibration is happening within myself. That is as if my own spirit is waking up. There have been times when I've been in the forest too, and the light starts to rise, and then all of a sudden I hear and it's Raven that's sitting up in the trees, and waiting, and greeting that light that comes in. And so as I'm sitting there again, I find out, and I've just come to that point, that realizing that I too am that energy. I too, my whole system, my body is vibrating, waiting for that daylight to show up, to come, to greet the day, and to blanket the day with its daylight. Even when it's cloudy here in the Pacific Northwest, the sun is behind there, but still, that the strength of that sun still lights up the day. Lights up the day. And I love sunrises. Sitting there, taking that opportunity in. And that becomes a ritual of mine, to watch and know those sunrises are coming. Because I let my dogs out and do that. And how about you? Do you like sunrises? Do you like sunrises? And then I just love also the sunsets. The sunsets. One of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen was when I was in Nome, Alaska. On the edge of the world, man, on the edge of the world. And I do have to tell you this, I could not see Russia from Nome, Alaska. And I'm like right on the edge, looking out there. Couldn't see Russia. But still, I saw the sunset. And the sunset over there and up in Alaska, Nome, Alaska, and it just went down, and it was just as if, just this bright, deep, 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 deep orange, this deep orange, as the sun was going down, And it's this, you can see the pulse, the lights, the pulses going out. And it was almost like there's a line of light that went directly from me to that sunset or sunrise. I love sunsets. How about you? And I learned too that the sunrises and sunsets are different colors over the Great Lakes. When I was over there hanging out with the Potawatomi, Pokagon people, and they were telling stories about, we were talking about sunrises and sunsets, but the colors are different over the fresh water, over the Great Lakes. And I didn't realize that until I went over there. I witnessed their sunrises and sunsets. There was this one time I was in Colorado, and it was a long day. I was taking classes, some training, teachings, and it was a long, long day, and I was just exhausted. And I knew I needed to do something. I needed to move. I needed to get active and just give my brain a break, because there's so much going on. I was just processing, taking in so many things. And so I jumped on my mountain bike and started riding up the trail up this mountain. It was in Winter Park, Colorado. And it's starting to get towards the end of the day, and I knew I needed to get up there before the sun set, because it gets dark in the woods. It gets dark in the woods. It's dark. And when you're on a bike on a trail, it could get pretty treacherous. But I said, I'm doing it anyways. So I grinded my way up this mountain, up the trails of the mountain in Colorado. And I got to this point where there's a grassy hill and a field that opened up. And as I peeked to the top of this grassy hill up there towards the top of the mountain, I couldn't help but on the other side, I saw a marmot, or some people know them as groundhogs, sitting over on the other side, just sitting there watching the sunset, watching the sunset. And I placed my bike down, and I gradually, slowly made my way down towards that marmot. And as I'm on my way down towards the marmot, I had to clear my mind. I had to open my heart in that good way. What I was doing was I was preparing my spirit. I was preparing my spirit and my mind so that I can visit. So I can visit. And how I did that, I started to actually sing a song in my mind, one of our traditional songs, singing a song about the ancestors. And with that, when you start singing your song, it starts clearing your mind. It starts clearing, your heart, your chest area, and that energy and that communication can start going out. And so I got closer, and that marmot just sat there watching the sunset. And then when I got closer, it just kind of looked at me and then turned, as if it invited me a little bit closer. And I took a little step closer, little step closer. I got within 3 feet of it, and then it looked at me again and told me as if that's close enough. And I sat there on the earth, on the ground with this marmot, and we both watched as the sun started to disappear behind the peak of the mountain. And then I rose up. Still, you can still see some of the colors. And I needed to leave, so I rose up. I started walking away. And I turned and looked, and I saw that marmot still watching where that mountain blanketed that sun. And to me, at that moment, I was in the presence of an elder. I was in the presence of an elder. So I made my way down the mountain. And that's exactly what I needed. And it was that time too, it's like when I talk about these sunrises and these sunsets, my time sitting with a marmot, my time sitting with elders. And how many times when you go sit with an elder, do you prepare your spirit, clear your mind, clear your heart? Or is your mind and heart still filled with the drive that you just took to get there, or the drive that you're going to need to take when you leave? Or is your mind and your heart still filled with the turmoil, the frustrations? Maybe you had a little bit of road rage while you're driving, or maybe you're having a hard time with your family or your kids, whatever it is. And then you go talk to the elder with a scrambled mind and a scrambled heart, instead of like when it's time to go to sit with the elder to actually be present and to clear your mind and heart so that you can truly be present as you sit with an elder. And that's just one of the ways that I do that, is just I sing one of my traditional songs. Or it was an elder I heard, it was a Soggy Cherokee elder I heard, and I actually heard him talking about this online. He was telling about stories and storytelling. And he said, capture the state of mind. Capture the state of mind. And what he was talking about is that one of the ways that I clear my mind and my heart as well is I capture that state of mind. I will go back to that moment I sat with that marmot, and I'll remember that sunset. Or I'll go back to a moment where I remember I was in Nome, Alaska, Hawaii, or Juneau, Alaska, or sitting here in on the land of the Puyallup peoples and watching the sunset here or sunrise. And I'll capture, because that moment as well. There's been times I've been on the river, I've been up on the mountains or out there in the ocean. And so it's like, what are those moments that you can capture that will help you clear your mind and clear your heart? What are those memories, those moments? You see, our life is a story. Our life is a story, but it's made up of moments. Our life story is made up of moment. For instance, right now, those of you who are listening right now, all this is just a moment. All this is just a moment. This moment that we have here right now will never ever happen in the existence of this universe unless we want to talk about other things, other belief systems. But we have is this moment. So pick those moments in your life journey, in your life story, that will help you in your allyship with yourself. That will help you clear and become and get to that state of mind. Another thing that I use oftentimes, depending on the situation, my wife Ruby just texted me, sent me a message that she uses rocks. Rocks help her clear her mind and clear her spirit. And every time I go on a trip, especially recently, I've been making a point of bringing her a rock from my travels, and now she's starting to get a pretty good collection of rocks. But I know that's important to her, and that helps her in her spiritual journey. Rocks. And another thing too that helps me, I've captured that state of mind for myself, is when for instance, right before I came online here, I was down at the beach, and I was there with my dogs, and my dogs love to swim, and they just get excited to get into the water. It's like, they're just vibrating because they know they can't wait to get into that water, and they're just shaking. And so we go down there, and today when I had them, it was low tide, so I unleashed them up on the beach, and I walked down to the edge of the water, but I had them wait, and they waited for me as I went down, and then I just like hand motioned them to come, and they just sprinted down to the water. I love that. And that's another moment in my life that I've captured, so that I can use that to help clear my mind and clear my spirit, my heart. Maybe some of you is like those memories with your children or your grandchildren or nieces or nephews, those moments with the elders in your life. Maybe those of you who've been on canoe journey out there or up on the mountain or up on the mountain. Yeah. Or even like the birth of a little one and even the passing of a loved one, the passing of the one, the sacredness of the passing of a loved one as well. What are those moments that you can use and capture those memories, those memories, so that you can use it later on, so that you get about being an ally to yourself. I'm just taking a look at the chats here real quick, and Kimberly, thank you. Glad you're healing up from your illness anytime. Yeah, the water. Every time I go to the water, that always brings rivers. I love the rivers, and every time one of the things I do is I go over a river when I'm driving, and I just give acknowledgments to that river. Those rivers have been there here longer before us as humans have been there. Those rivers are ancestors. Those rivers hold stories. Those rivers hold spirit. Those rivers hold spirit. So even if when we cross over a river, when I'm driving, I would just give my acknowledgement to that river or the river, or the hawk on the pole. But yeah, water is a very important, powerful, powerful thing. Even when it's raining, ancestors are rain, ancestral rain. Yeah. Um, Recently I was yeah, animals bring good thoughts. Yeah. Recently I was in Alaska, Southeast Alaska in Juneau, and I was teaching and assisting on a tracking course and evaluation. And when I'm talking about a tracking course and evaluation, yeah, we were down on our hands and knees watching bear tracks, looking at bear tracks. How fast were they going? Who are they going? Are they coming from something or going towards something? Were they eating? Which direction were they looking at? Were there more than one? How old were these tracks? And not only, but also the signs on the leaves. So we're looking at bears, otters, porcupines, um, beaver tracks, raven, eagle tracks, crow tracks, blue jay tracks, and all the signs. And yeah, and we're looking at a lot of bear scat and poop and everything too. But we were up there in Southeast Alaska, and while we are up there doing that, we are in an atmospheric river. It's interesting. We were hearing atmospheric rivers, that term, more and more. Didn't really hear it when I was younger, but now it's happening often, more and more and more. But we were up there, and Juneau, Alaska is the largest temperate rainforest in the world. Now, here in Seattle, Pacific Northwest, down in the States here, I know people complain about the rain and the weather down here. Please, my relatives, until you go to a temperate rainforest in Southeast Alaska, then let me hear you talk about the rain there. So we were doing the tracking course, and it was just downpour, rain, hard, hard rain. But the thing is, there's a beauty about that. And I captured the moment because when it was raining, there's a mist of fog over the water. There's a mist and fog coming out of the mountains and the trees. And you can see shadows in the distance, and those shadows were eagles that were in the trees on the stumps. And you can see shadows in the distance, like formations of the liking on the ground, on the earth, and the trees that actually look like ancestors walking in the fog. So I've captured that moment, and I captured the moment of actually the the tracks, imagining seeing the animals walking, flying, moving, imagining, using my imagination as well. You see, one of our power blessed gifts that we received is our imaginations, and using it for an allyship, for your health, for your wellness. And again, our brains, we can go back to a memory and our brains will think that we're actually there, experiencing it. And when you go back to that memory, that moment that you captured, are you really there? Our brains think so, but you're using your imagination, your creativity to put yourself back there. So how do you use your imagination? I know sometimes we can use our imaginations and we can think up the most drastic, the worst scenario that's going on, right? Yeah, just go like this because yeah, I know I do. And sometimes the things all I listen to, all I do, how I become an ally for myself, for my own wellness, I will literally tell myself in my mind, stop, because that doesn't serve me a purpose. How many of you heard this? The quality of our questions are equal to the quality of our choices. I'm going to say that again. The quality of our questions are equal to the quality of our choices. That self-talk that you do, or the self-imagining that you do, what questions are you asking yourself? So I always ask this: how many of us have done something stupid? Raise your hand. We've all done it. I'm raising my hand twice. All I have to do is ask my wife, and she will like tell you. For instance, like last this morning, all right, what I did, something stupid I did this morning was I left the water hose on all night long. All right, stupid, stupid. I know better than that, you know. But the thing is, a low quality question I can ask myself or tell myself is like, how can I be so stupid? Your brain will tell you exactly how many times you can be that stupid, or how less than you can, or how unworthy you can be. Higher quality question is that, what can I learn from this? How can I use it? Did I learn anything from this? Or high quality questions. So take yourself back to those memories of high, of those moments that you captured. Your imagination, the sunrises, the sunsets, being next to the river, being in the mountain, being on the ocean, whatever that may be. And put yourself as if you're there. Just take a deep breath, go back into it, think about that image, imagine it, seeing it. And then higher quality questions are, what do you see? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? Another set of higher quality questions are, what's happening here? What is this teaching me? What is this telling me? What's happening here? What is this teaching me? What is this telling me? And you see, yeah, the Belmont process there, Mary. Yeah, Uncle Harold Belmont. Yeah. And the Belmont process we call with the Gona gathering of Native Americans. Uncle Harold Belmont was one of the founders. And he'd always go, what are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? Those are high quality questions. And those become sacred questions. What am I learning here? What is this teaching me? What is this telling me? And those become sacred questions. And what are your sacred questions that you ask yourself? Are they serving you? Are they quality questions? Or are they lower quality questions? Yeah, think about that and really explore that. What are those sacred questions you ask yourself? Yeah. How can I be an ally to myself? How can you be an ally to yourself, your health, your wellness, your mental health? Yeah. And so, Lori, see, imagination of an oasis in chaos, and how I stay in a moment and be myself. I love that. Belmont process. Ask, what do I understand from this? Yeah, that's a great question, Lori. I'm looking at the chat right now, and And something that I love too, that's one part of the moment I've captured in my mind. I love storms. I love storms. I love being out in storms. I love being up on the mountain in storms. Nobody else is around. Only one who is around in a storm up on the mountains or anywhere, chickadees. That little bird, those little chickadees, man. Oh, you want to learn about strength and and resilience and joy. You see those little chickadees, man. You'll be in a storm, you'll be all blanketed up and covered up and stuff like that. You'll be going, "What the heck is this crazy? I'm out here." And then over there, the little chickadees flying. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I love storms, man. And animals bring you good medicine. Yes, yes. Yeah, animals. Um, I see deer every day. What a gift. What a gift. I see deer every day. Every time I see a deer, I always just can't help but just like make acknowledgments. Thank you. Thank you. And sometimes I'll be in a funky mood, man. I'll be in like a weird mood, weird place, and then all of a sudden coming out from the side will be hopping, there'll be a mama deer and a baby deer. And it immediately, boom, takes me out of that funky state of mind and takes me back, and again, animals help nurture my spirit. Animals help nurture my spirit. So keep an eye out and look through the world, even if you're in the cities. Even if you're in the cities, man, you know, so many times our world, we're looking like this all the time. We walk through, we're doing in our world, we're doing this thing. We're always, I see people like this all the time. They're walking out in the woods, walking their dog, and they're doing on a trail, walking their dog, and they're like this, enjoying nature, I guess. What the heck, people? What the heck? But just go out there and just look out the world and try this. Instead of looking like this, we have this thing, it's called owl eyes or fox eyes. And see and look walking around like this and open up the blinders and looking at the earth, those things all around you. And if you see something in the distance, and then sometimes you might want to go like this to focus in, but open it up. And then what are the sounds around you? Just take a look, that's what's around you. Um, this is an activity I want you to do with your kids or grandkids. Go out there, walk with them, no words. And just when you see something real cool, tap them on the shoulder and point to it. No words, just to show it. And if they see something real cool, have them tap you on the shoulder and have them point to it. And just go for a walk. Do that for 5 minutes, so. And then it'll go into 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then there's other activity too. Take your little one or walk out there in the woods with somebody and have one person close their eyes and you lead them up to like maybe a flower and you put them right in front of the flower and then you just tap them on top of the head for 1, 2, 3 seconds and have them close their eyes again. And that way what they're doing is taking a picture of that. They're walking around, they see something, open their eyes, 1, 2, 3, close their eyes, and then lead them to another place. And then you switch off and do that. And what you're doing is like you're capturing moments, and that trains your brain to capture these moments. You're training your youth, your kids, your nephews, your grandkids, your partners, helping each other to capture these moments. And you can do this anywhere. You could be in the middle of New York City, Paris, wherever, on the res, or in the villages, capturing these moments. Those are a couple of things that you could do. And then cup your ears like this, your hands over your ears, deer ears. You ever see a deer in the woods? Their ears are always going different ways, different directions, listening. How many different sounds can you hear this way? How many different sounds can you hear going this way? What's the closest sounds? What's the furthest sounds? And what that stuff does is just get you connected with the outside world, but it gets you in the moment, away from the chaos of the drive, chaos of the television, chaos of social media, chaos of dealings with the family, chaos with other things. It takes you into the moment of now. And you deserve to be in the moment of now, even if it's just for 1 minute. You deserve that, don't you? Yeah. And then pay attention to your breath. If you get too things get moving too fast, or words and all that, just take a deep breath, 4 breaths in, release, and say these words, and say these words. Still, breath in, ness, breathe out. Still, ness, still, breathe in, ness. I don't know how many of you just did that right now, but don't you feel a little bit more chill? And all that took was like, what, 15 seconds? So if you're at your computer, just push back. If you're at home, push back. Wherever you're at, you can even do it when you're driving. Just simply inhale, still, exhale, ness. And that helps calm your system. That helps calm your system. And that's just about just some simple things that you can do to be an ally for yourself. To be an ally for yourself. To help you in your wellness, health, your mental health. Capturing those moments that you can use, those memories, those pictures, those images, those experiences that are good, positive resources for you, as opposed to those that don't serve you anymore. That don't serve you anymore. Hang on a second. I had to see what time it was. Sometimes I just start talking, man. I'm a storyteller. I'm part of the storyteller support group. It's called On and On and On and On and On. Yeah. And that's it. And so with that too is just those using those resources for yourself. Oh, my wife just texted me 12:42. Thanks, baby. Thanks for she's you know what, and another thing too is like an ally for myself is knowing who has your back. Knowing who has your back. You know, my wife Ruby's on here and she's watching and gonna cheesh, and I know she has my back. But another thing too, I'm gonna start ending up here is um who walks with you? Who walks with you? And you may be wondering, like, what do you mean, Gene? What do you mean who walks with you? So whenever you walk into a room, who's walking with you? Is it the spirit of anger? Is it the spirit of frustration? Is it the spirit of confusion? Is it the spirit of just rage and being pissed, or spite or guilt, whatever it is? Or who walks you with you into the room? Is it the spirit of joy, gratitude, uh, love, cooperation, values, beauty? Who walks with you in the room? And another thing too is like who else walks with you into the room is like what ancestors walk with you. And make the choice on what ancestors, because some of our ancestors, when they passed on, they were pretty quite unhealthy, right? Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't want those ancestors walking with me. And part of the reason why I do my work now is this to heal those ancestors as well. But I want those ancestors that are strong, powerful, healing, spiritual, well, knowledgeable, wise, traditional, nurturing. Those are the ancestors I want walking into the room with me. And also some of our ancestors that we don't ever really acknowledge is those ancestors of the trees, the mountains, the water, the rivers, the oceans, the animals themselves. Sometimes when I was doing triathlons, I would imagine, again, using our imagination to help us and as a resource to help us that serves us, to support us, using my imagination when I was running and racing triathlons. When I was riding my bike, I would imagine raven flying in the trees next to me, deer running next to me, and wolf running next to me. When I'm climbing hills on my bike, I would imagine black bear right there running next to me. And when I'm swimming in the water, I imagine I did this automatically because I imagine killer whale or keet or orca swimming with me, or the salmon keep swimming right next to me, keeping me afloat. Or when I was running, that's definitely when I would imagine wolf, deer with me. And even during that whole time, I would imagine an old elder standing on the mountainside, looking down at me, praying for me, helping me, assisting me, using my imagination, bringing those ancestors with me as I'm running a race. I can still do that when I'm walking into a room. Again, using your imagination and bringing those aspects, those ancestors with you. Who walks into the room with you? And to really think about that. And do you have a sacred place? Do you have a sacred place that you can close your eyes and you can use your imagination and go there and sit there and be there? And again, as we started off, favorite sunrise, favorite sunset. What is that moment you capture? Maybe it's next to a river, next to an ocean, maybe it's up in the mountains, wherever it is. Use that place and then go see yourself sitting there and be there. Do you have a sacred place that you can go? You know where you're safe. You know that there's resources. You know you could pray. My place I have, it's on the side of the mountain, not quite to the top side of the mountain, looking down onto a channel. And I have this here woven willow tree next to me, a river that comes by. I have that I can get into the water and have the sacred fire that's right in front of me. And I can bring people around that council. That's just my sacred place. What's yours? And do you take a moment even just to go out, sit down outside, and just be quiet? Yeah. So who walks into the room with you? So as I've taken a look here more, ancestors, spirits of res dogs. I love that. I love listening. Lori's right there with me. It's like ancestors, the spirit of res dogs, the spirit of our dogs, man. Yeah. Waking up your DNA. What this is, part of it too is like I'm talking about too, is Lori Newbreast is on here too. She talked about all this here is being an ally to ourselves, and being an ally to ourselves too is waking up our DNA. All those resources, all those memories, all that spirit, all that is within us. It's in our DNA. Yes, we talk about the historical trauma, epigenetics, about the trauma that we carry with us from our ancestors, historically too, but also we carry with us in our DNA this resources, the love, the strength, ancestral wisdoms, the victories that are there. And we just need to like access that and wake up our DNA. Yeah. So so how can we be, again, a resource to ourselves, an ally for ourselves, an ally for ourselves? To think about that. And to sit with that for this week, this weekend. Because it's a lifelong thing, lifelong journey. I just want to say thank you for each of you. We started this off with a good prayer for those who are having a hard time, struggles out there, might be in the hospital, dealing with an illness. Keep praying for them. And remember to pray for yourself as well. Pray for yourself. And I'm going to be, I just want to share this too. Recently, I just lost my father, and it's been over a month now. And his memories always are coming to my mind, and we'll be doing a celebration of life here really soon. But yeah, I just wanted to just make that acknowledgement of my father, who's like a major part of my life, major part of my life. So I'm just here as you are bearing witness, just making that acknowledgement of my father and loss. And I know many of us have lost loved ones. I was just talking yesterday or the day before, and I was talking to these young kids, um, middle school, mostly middle school and even grade school kids, and we're talking about what really makes them sad. And they were talking about what makes them sad was they started out, my dog just died. Said, oh, another one said, oh, my dog died too. Another one chimed in and started talking about my my dad died or my grandpa died. And so we just had to stop everything. We started talking about death, life. We're guaranteed we're born. Yes, we're getting older. And one day I will be an ancestor. What kind of ancestor do I want to be? One day I'm going to be there. So in this journey that we make in our lives, how can you be an ally to yourself? What do you need to do to start becoming that healthy elder, not an older, that healthy elder, or as Mike Duncan would say, a welder, a well elder, a welder. And what do you need to do to get to that point? And then from that point of being that elder to be that well ancestor, that healthy ancestor, what kind of ancestor do you want to be? How can you be an ally to yourself? What are the resources, the moments in your mind, your memory, your life story that you can use in this path? And what are your sacred questions that you ask yourself? What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? What's happening here? What's this teaching me? What's this telling me? And form your own sacred questions. And so with that, I started off this here section, this Native Wellness Power Hour. And thank you all for joining in with the Native Wellness Power Hour here every Wednesday. Come and join us. Come and join us. And 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 spread the word and spread the spirit. So I started off with a good song. I'm going to start off with the same song, and bring to mind those ancestors that you want to bring to mind, who you like to walk with, and those who need those prayers. And think about your favorite moment, at sunrises and sunsets, your favorite res dogs out there, yeah, even those old snags that you had out there. I guess that give them a prayer too. They probably need a prayer as well. And so it's a uh, just watch that on. They were talking about snagging on this last episode of Reservation Dogs, and again you'll see Theta Newbreast on that last episode of Res Dogs. Go check it out. So hey yo, 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 cha ha ha cha. So my relatives, thank you, and again, until next time. Be wellness. All right, signing off.